it's one of those unique midweeks coming up in the EFL Championship. Just one rearranged game for us to preview and predict. And of course, as always, I'll encourage you to do the same in the comments. Give me your score prediction for the midweek fixture. And if you beat or match my score, you'll get a shout out in a recap on Wednesday when we look ahead to all of the weekend's action. We'll also do our recap of last weekend's results there, because it has already been another chaotic weekend in the Championship, and I'm only recording this on Sunday morning before the 2 Sunday lunchtime games. So 10 games in, it's already looking crazy, and all of the races at the top and bottom of the Championship are well and truly hotting up. This one probably affects 2 of them now, based on results we saw on Saturday. And late goals were flavour of the day, some big chances missed also having an impact. But of course, we are going to have a look ahead here to Birmingham City versus Middlesbrough, a Tuesday night fixture at St Andrews, which is crucial for both sides. Particularly, you have to say Birmingham City. They are, as I'm recording this, the next in line to fall into the relegation zone. If Huddersfield get a result on Sunday lunchtime, then Birmingham will go into this game in the bottom 3 on goal difference. They're level on points with QPR, who had 39 but a slightly better goal difference. Of course, Huddersfield and Sheffield Wednesday just a point behind as it stands, but Huddersfield may overtake them by the end of the day. And plenty else going on as well, with the likes of Stoke, Blackburn and Plymouth just 2 points ahead. And then Millwall, Swansea, Bristol City and Watford, now managerless yet again, all within 6 points of them. But one team that isn't in that mix now is Middlesbrough, because any faint outside worry of them being dragged into a relegation zone, well, it's pretty much gone now, hasn't it? A really important week for Borough with back-to-back wins, and that sends them up to 50 points and very much changes their view for this midweek, because they take a great away record to St Andrews, and if they win it, then with the same games played, they're 5 points off the playoffs, and they're suddenly looking at an opportunity to catch Norwich City and possibly even West Bromwich Albion. So it's been a really important week for Borough, and not just for the fact that they've won the games, but you may remember on Thursday when we were doing our Championship predictions for the weekend, we said how important was it against 10-man Norwich that both of those strikers got on the score sheet. Force and Latilaf in the goals, and guess what? They were in the goals again away at QPR. And it was a bit of a weird game because there weren't many great chances. You would argue that QPR's best all came at 0-0, and they were probably edging the game at that point, certainly in terms of ascendancy, but they were offering up counter-attacking chances to Borough. But QPR had 3 good opportunities, 2 of them well saved by Seny Dieng, and one of them, where of course Seny Dieng was beaten, he'd been rounded, and it was an unbelievable challenge from Vandenberg to prevent what would have been probably a certain goal at that point. So of course, at this stage of the season, that's just as important as the goals being scored. But to have both strikers on the score sheet again, starting together, looking a threat, I think that will make Michael Carrick a very happy man. Because, let's be honest, with Borough, that's been the big difference from last year. They could go and outscore teams. They were scoring 3 in games with regularity. And the likes of Cameron Archer, Chuba Akpom, etc. were popping up with goals all the time. And now, maybe they're just hitting form with their strikers at the right time. And of course, they are recovering from that big blow of having 10, 11 injuries, and now getting somewhere back to full strength is definitely going to help them. But there were still some warning signs, and it wasn't a complete performance. And against maybe a more clinical side near the top of the table, as we've seen before with some others, even against mid-table sides, they have come unstuck when they've given up those 2 or 3 chances. But for Borough, the amount of games they've dominated earlier in the year and not been able to score, I think they'll be happy to win an even game 2-0 for now. For Birmingham, very much the opposite story, wasn't it? A 90th minute defeat thanks to a free header from a set piece. It is going to be giving Tony Mowbray headaches, and Mark Venus, who of course is in temporary charge, but liaising with him. And it was just one of those where Birmingham, they didn't really have great opportunities. Stansfield had one at the near post, which he put just wide, but he only managed 1 shot on target. It got to the stage where, and this is no criticism for Birmingham in particular, because since Neil Harris has come back to Millwall and they've gone back to Millwall style, they've gone to the set pieces, deep defensive block, get yourself in shape and be disciplined, defend your box well. And what we've seen a lot of teams do is get forced into shooting from distance. We saw it for Southampton at St Mary's, and we saw it again with Birmingham. They were having shots from the edge of the box from acute angles, and they didn't really work many good opportunities despite having 16 shots in the game. So a little bit of a frustrating one for them. And then, of course, to concede late from a set piece is really frustrating. And there were 2 or 3 decent chances for Millwall from set pieces too. So with Tony Mowbray still unavailable to be in the dugout, it does leave them in a pretty perilous position, and this becomes a very important game for them. However, if we go and look, and I know we shouldn't at this stage of the season because anything can happen, but if we go and look at the form table for home and away, even with the Wayne Rooney spell, Birmingham have generally been very solid. They've only lost 4 home matches in the entire season, albeit there's been a few too many draws in there to push them higher up the home form table. They've got a positive goal difference, and they've only conceded 22 from their 17 games. So I'm not expecting this to be a big, exciting thriller, or will it be that Birmingham feel they have to go for the game and maybe open up? But for me, the chances of Birmingham losing this game are fairly small based on that, until you then go and look at Middlesbrough, who are one of the Championship anomalies. And by that, I mean, well, they've got a better away record than they have at home. If the Championship table was purely based on away record, Middlesbrough would be in the top 6. They've won 8 of their 18 away games, but they are a bit of a mixed bag, and it makes my midweek prediction a gamble because they've won 8, they've lost 8, they've only drawn 2, but their goal difference is pretty much even. They concede more, but they score more. And that means for me that I think these two teams are going to play out a draw. Now, I know that that is a risky prediction, particularly based on the fact that Middlesbrough don't really draw away from home. But overall, the goal difference levels out. I feel it's really important for Birmingham. And obviously, if they're in the relegation zone come Tuesday, depending on Huddersfield's result, I've predicted Huddersfield to lose, so I'm saying they won't be. But that draw could lift them out, and either way, lift them above QPR, which would be crucial. And against Middlesbrough, a side that, let's be honest, are now probably looking up rather than down. It'll be a frustrating day for them if they can't win it. And I feel maybe there'll be a side that push. So my prediction here would be that Birmingham go 1-0 up. And then Middlesbrough will have to go for it. And it could be late heartbreak again. I'm going to go for the Championship's favourite scoreline. It's the way that, look, it's cost me so many results not going for it in the last 2 match days. I'm going to go for 1-1. Birmingham drew against Hull City by that scoreline. Middlesbrough haven't drawn in ages. I've just got a feeling that the Championship's favourite scoreline will deliver. And it would feel bad to do a whole episode and not mention it. So Birmingham City 1, Middlesbrough 1 is my prediction. It doesn't really matter what I think. Let me know your score predictions in the comments below. If you beat or match my score for this midweek, or of course for last weekend's action, you will be getting a shout out in Wednesday's recap as we look ahead to another big weekend before the international break. It's a very busy week on the channel though, because on Monday, we're going to be looking ahead to the rearranged midweek Premier League fixture, a full preview of Bournemouth versus Luton. Yes, my voice is a little hoarse because of the last minute at Crystal Palace yesterday. We're also going to be back on Wednesday with the Championship weekend predictions, and Thursday with the Premier League weekend predictions. Another huge game for Luton at home to Nottingham Forest, and one of those sides could end up back in the Championship next year. So if you're looking forward to all of that, please do put a thumbs up on the video. If you want to stay up to date with it, make sure you don't miss a thing. Subscribe and turn that notification bell on. It's the final few days of our partnership with HelloFresh UK, so make sure you check out the link at the top of the description for 60% off your first box, free delivery and 20% off for another 2 months as well. Thank you very much to everyone who supported it already. You do make a big difference to the channel. We've got a massive week to come, both in the Premier League and the Championship. Loads of prediction shows, and of course, we could be reflecting on another new Watford manager in the summer after the sacking of Valérien Ismaël. I hope you're looking forward to all of that, but thank you very much for being here. Get your score prediction for this game in the comments, and I'll see you back here on Wednesday as we look ahead to the whole weekend.